welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and it's time to use up our October stickers from our Noteworthy Days collections. We had quite a few left over from the October virtual crop, and so I wanted to give you some ideas of how to finish off this set of stickers. We will be making a double page layout as well as a couple of cards because, it's a fun creative challenge for me and it helps give you all ideas. Let's get to it. My desk has a little bit more happening on it this time because we had quite a few pumpkin and Halloween-ish stickers left this month for our October Noteworthy Days stickers. We also had some breast cancer awareness stickers, and we also had Octoberfest, if you will, stickers available as well. And so we're going to be doing a 2-page layout as well as 2 cards this month. Our first one is going to be kind of Halloweenish themed, but it doesn't have to be Halloween if you don't want it to be. And it's a little bit different. I used my, let me see if I can get these to separate for me. I used my field fence punch, and of course I can't find the box for it, and it is currently sold out, but I already had this punched in our hot fudge cardstock, and sometimes it's nice to use up these things that we have already punched, so I am going to do that now. If you want to substitute, you by all means, you can use the wooden fence punch as a replacement for the field fence. It will work just exactly right as well. We also have another option that is also sold out, the Rustic Fence Border Maker cartridge. And of course, don't forget, if you have the Border Maker system, you have the picket fence. So don't be afraid to use your picket fence from time to time. I know I need to use mine a little bit more too. I also did use my fishnet punch, and as you can see, I cut it in half because when I cut it in half, I thought it looked a little bit like a lantern. So we're going to be decorating the top of our page with some little Halloween lanterns, if you will, or fall themed lanterns, pumpkin themed, however you want to call this page. It's okay. It's using up our Noteworthy Days stickers, so it's our double page layout for that. I'm not sure if it needs a name, but I always try to do something a little bit different and unique, especially when I am looking at the stickers and especially when I am freestyling and creating my own designs. So we're doing some fishnet lanterns this time. Why not? We also will be using our caramel cardstock for the base of both sides of this layout. I'm going to go ahead and set one aside. We'll start on the left side of our page. And we are using a fair amount of cardstock this month. I did pull in the page with the dots on it with the almost navy look on the back from our Noteworthy Days paper pack. I'm not sure if it was in the regular paper pack or in the tonal pack this time. It's still a little bit early in the morning here. And then I also have a scrap of my platinum shimmer paper here. Do y'all do this too, where you punch some things but you still have enough cardstock to use for something else? Set it aside, and we're going to be using a little bit of this behind a couple of our stickers. Apparently the Noteworthy Days clear sticker pack that I keep talking about is actually the Noteworthy Days title sticker pack, and it is still available on the Creative Memories website. We are going to be taking like this one that says thankful. That's from the title sticker pack or the clear sticker pack, and we're going to place it on this platinum just to have something behind it, because a lot of our title stickers are going to go over our punches this time. something a little bit, I don't know if I've done it before or not. Sometimes I do things and it's been a while, and sometimes I remember I've done it and sometimes not so much. Let me go ahead and start getting some repositionable tape on this field fence, and I will be right back with you because I'm also going to do I have a platinum shimmer fishnet I also cut in half. I think this one was one I used for a short as well. And then I have the pumpkin cardstock that I punched one from and cut in half as well. And when you cut those in half, just use your cut guides on your trimmer and it works out nicely. All right, so our orange or pumpkin, I should say. I think the only orange cardstock we have right now is our orange shimmer. I'm actually going to just work this here, make my life easier, and we're just going to flip the page over so the straight edge that you cut on your trimmer is going along the top edge of our paper, and then the points are going to come on down. So that's what made it look a little bit lanternish to me, and I just thought that was kind of something somebody else, I don't know. Has anybody else thought of that before? Sometimes you look at the punches and you just don't know what you're going to see. I know with the Jingle Bell punch, when I did the short, I asked people what else they saw, and I had a comment that somebody saw something different than I did. So it's always wonderful to get feedback from others as well on what they think some of the punches can make also. And then we're going to hang these lanterns from our fence here, just coming across here. And it almost kind of, I thought it kind of almost had a little bit of a chain link quality to it also, but I just like the idea of it being the lantern a little bit more. It does. It looks just like those little paper lanterns that you see. Okay, so now we are going to put down 3 mats. We have, these are all 4x6 mats. I kept it a little bit simple this month. So let me get some tape runner on these and I'll explain in just a moment. Isn't it always funny how the new tape runners always flow so much quicker and easier than the when they're about to run out? You always you get a feel for it for sure. Our dots mat is going to go up in our top right here, about a 1/2 inch in, and it's maybe about 3/4 of an inch down. I'm not actually pulling out my 0 centering ruler to measure this one. Also, our pumpkin is about that 1/2 inch in and 3/4 of an inch in between. Looks like I've got about 3/4 of an inch in between over here as well. And then put your hot fudge kind of in between the two. Again, about a 1/2 inch from the left side of your page. Let's get rolling with some stickers here. Let me. I have, let's see, we got a candy corn. That's going on the other side of the page. We have our latte on the other side of the page. Let me bring in my platinum shimmer here. And this also is just going to reinforce our little bit of platinum that we have down here. So we had October 31st and our thankful with the pumpkin from the title stickers. And we also have 3 little stars that I think would also work well from the platinum. And you know what? Let's just pull in from what we have on here. I'm going to take my scissors and cut these out anyways. So just stick them down and we're going to cut them out. You can use your regular scissors, you can use your microtip scissors, however you want to do it. Just pull these out first, make my life easier here. And then let's cut around these. These little stars are really small. I cut them as circles and then I decided, oh, let me see if I can take out the points. And so I did this one and I decided I didn't like it as much. So I did the other two with the circles. So we'll see how these actually go onto the page. Let's go ahead and we'll probably pop these up, I think. No, you know what? I think this is going to go straight on. Let's grab our repo tape. Back to my repositionables about to run out too. Let's see here. Yep. Let's see where I probably should invest in the jumbo tape runners coming up. But since they have been out of stock a little bit, I'm kind of waiting until they come back in and we'll see if I wind up switching or not. I do have several refills now for the regular sized ones. So we'll see if I wind up switching or not. Okay. We have our October 31st up on the top here with our lanterns at the top. Just go ahead and center that a bit. And I wanted to put our 3 stars near our October 31st. Maybe we'll do this and this. And I don't know if I want to use this little one or not. I feel like I kind of messed it up. Maybe we'll just tuck it right next to the 31 here. Okay, there we go. And then we have our thankful that's going in the bottom over here a little bit. Along with our caramel apple that's going to be through the middle of our page here. Now let's angle it towards this one. And actually it's our little stick for our caramel apple. Kind of has a silvery gray tone to it, which is kind of fun. That worked out for me. Maybe that's what inspired me to pull in the platinum. Who knows? I feel like I just noticed it now, but that's all right. Our jack-o'-lantern is going over here on our fence. In fact, I think we do need to pop that one up. So let me find my foam squares here. Okay, I've got a couple of sheets started somehow. This size, I don't know if I have one small enough to do the top of the stem, so we're just going to have to let it ride a little bit here. Maybe I'll put just a little bit of the powder at the top. Usually I don't take my back off my foam squares until I've got the powder on, but that's okay. There we go, just sitting on top of our fence there. And the left side of our page is done. So keeping it simple to some degree, I guess, with the cutting wound up being a little more of an undertaking than what I thought it would, but there's our jack-o'-lantern just hanging out there, and, you know, it's okay to combine the thankful and the October 31st. I think it works. It is that kind of season, and you know what? I mean, there's a couple little bats in here, but if you just want to put on, you know, apple picking or fall leaf photos, I think they totally would work on this page. Of course, your 3 photos here If you put this mat up a little bit higher, you can even put a fourth photo down here, or you can do your journaling here as well. So let's get the right side of our page done. And with this one, we are going very similar to our left side of our page. I am going to go ahead and put my repositionable tape on my borders again here. And we have the same 3 mats as well, all 4x6. And I am going to go ahead and use the dotted side of this one. So I'm going to go ahead and just put tape on everything, and I'll be right back with you. Let's go ahead and place our orange fishnet lantern here first at the bottom, and then we'll flip our page again. Just makes life easier to be able to see what you're doing, I think. A little bit closer here. Flip that over. Let's add our fence next. Whichever fence you're using is perfectly okay. Like I said, apparently we have quite a few fence options, and I think there was even another fence at some point or other, another rustic fence maybe. Or gate, iron gate, I think. So plenty of choices with that. Here come in our little silver lanterns again. Let me grab my right side of my page so I can get my mats lined up. So that way we want things to look nicely and neat across the top of our page. Oops, looks like one of my borders is a little bit over here. Okay, it's coming in about a 1/2 inch from here. There's that one. Just pressing it lightly. And making sure this one, oops, I moved my base page a little bit. Here we go. That lined up here. About a 1/2 inch again. And all right. Close enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. If everything was perfect, we would never get any pages done, right? And you know what? I think I am going to place this one up a little bit higher so I do have more space for either the journaling or another photo here. I think that makes sense to maybe put the journaling on the other side of the page since we have that smaller space. And you can easily fit like one of those 2x3 photos or just a smaller little snapshot of something down in this space here. On this side, I am adding the latte. I don't know if that's a pumpkin spice or what. It's okay. Doesn't really matter, does it? And then we have our other candy corn here going down. Here we have trick or treat. So yeah, that's okay. I think, like I said, I think it can still be a non-holiday or non-Halloween page. Placing this one over the lantern here, you just see a little bit of the brown top of the fence behind it. And then we have our third candy corn, and we have a lollipop here. And these are going to be right in here with our trick or treat coming up from behind it. And maybe this one's going to go this way. Okay. There you go. Right side of our page is done. I guess we could have made that into a little sticker cluster, but I think it looks cute just hanging out here. Like I said, we can still fit our photo. You can pop up your photo. You can journal. You can do whatever you want with this space here. Let's put together our cards. I pulled out one of our blank cards from our card kit. Actually, I pulled out 2 because we'll be using one for each side. And then I took a look in my scraps and coordinated these a little bit. So this is the beige with the large dots on it that has the kind of brown design on the back, or hot fudge maybe. These are a 1/4 inch by 4 1/4, and we're just going to go ahead and start placing things down. But let me go ahead and tape everything up. Secondly, we're going to use this green dot piece. Again, this was a scrap. It was 1 inch wide. It has what I've been calling the desert floor on the back of it. I did also punch 2 of our compasses from our compass punch from that paper. There's our compass punch. So if you're not familiar, that one is still available on my Creative Memories website. And finally, I had a scrap of this blue diagonal stripe, and it turned out it was 4 1/4. I cut it at 4 1/4, but it was 5 inches. So we had that little bit of excess at the ends, hence the reason for our 1/4 inch strip. This one has the brown geometric on the back of it. Let me put a tape burner across everything, and then we'll get this one put together. We're going to start out by placing our 1/4 inch strips along each edge of our card front. I can't tell you how many cards I've made upside down, so I'm a little bit just check and double check to make sure I am on the correct fold. There we go. First 1/4 inch strip is down. It looks like I have a little bit of excess. I'll trim off with my scissors in just a moment. Oh, it looks just right. Flip this over. I don't even know if it's a 1/16 of an inch. It was just enough that my eye noticed it, so off it goes. Now we're going to place our 4 1/4 by 5 inch piece next, just in between our two. Oops. There we go. Let's go ahead and trim my card just a little bit, so it's just ever so slightly over. Like I said, it's, when you work with scraps, sometimes it's not perfect, it's not exact, and you can see where mine is just a little bit off again. So I'm going to grab my scissors again and just follow that line real quick. Take care of that. Where things weren't quite straight, I guess, is the best way to say it. It's such a small piece, I don't know. I could just tell it was just a little bit diagonal. There we go. Oops, you can see I just got that little sliver here too. Goodness gracious. Okay, that in the trash. And then, oops, we have our 1 inch by 4 1/4 inches. And I guess at this point it really doesn't matter if we're exactly straight up and down, but I am going to bring in my 0 centering ruler for this one. So our card is 5 1/2 inches, so we should be, let's see, right at 2 3/4, just about on each side. Yes. So then, since I know this piece is 1 inch, I'm going to be at 1/2 inch on either side of my 0 here. Here's my half here. There's my half there. I just want to make sure I get make sure I'm looking at the line I think I'm looking at. There we go. Oh, goodness gracious. And now we have our, goodness, I'm losing everything here, aren't I? Knocking things around. we have our October Vibes sticker, and I thought, okay, October Vibes, Octoberfest, it can work, right? Let's grab a couple of foam squares for this one. And we'll pop that up, and then our compasses are going to go on either side of our October Vibes. Oops. Kind of behind it, so it makes sense that we have this popped up so we can just slip these under a little bit. So here is this. Kind of centered. Now I know I have one point I missed. There, that's the one that's going to go under. So I'm a little strategic with how I'm placing my actual compass. It's I'm not going exactly to the true north, I guess, if you will. I do have them ever so slightly angled. Actually, I guess I should angle this one a little bit towards the other one, since I have the other one angled towards that other direction. There we go. And then we have our pretzel and our beer. Now, don't forget to pull the extra little pieces out from the middle of your beer stein and your pretzel. You can see I just stuck them on the back of the beer sticker sheet because we're just going to toss those. Our beer's going down here. And our pretzel is coming in over here. So it's just kind of a fun little card. I just thought with the, Octoberfest, October vibes, maybe you want to invite somebody to a beer garden in October, or maybe you just want to invite a friend over to have a beer. You can send them this card in the fall. I guess you are kind of limited to October a little bit maybe with this one, but it's using our stickers. It's still fun. Maybe a little bit of a stretch. Maybe not. Okay, here we go. Now on to our final card here. Let me move out my pieces. And I just thought this one, I've lost too many friends to cancer. I don't even want to admit to that, but it's always hard to think about sometimes, those friends that we've lost. And with October being a breast cancer awareness month, or just cancer in general, I guess it is more breast cancer awareness, but I just thought this would be a nice tribute. We had our heart that was black with the little stripes in our title stickers, or our clear stickers. And then we had two of our ribbons. So we are going to work with both of them for this card. And I'm using a combination of both the repositionable and the regular tape runner. I really like this, especially when I have a full sheet for the card front. This is the navy paper with the dots. Again, I think I had a scrap of this one, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 to just go across our blank card front here. And then, oops, I didn't quite cut that one super straight. Let me pull it up again here. Let's try to get it straight. Flip it over sometimes. You need to use a little gravity to help you out. There we go. Okay, and then, so I guess this month I am a little punch heavy, but I pulled out our Damask Flourish frame punch, and I did use it along the frame lines. This piece it's our pink cardstock, and I cut a 4x4 square. Oops, I guess it would help if I was actually in the camera range for you all. This is a 4x4 square, and I cut just 3 sides of the frame. If you're not familiar, let me go ahead and open this up. Our frame punches can be used both as a border punch, because you can see we have the black lines that we would normally have on one of our border punches. But with the frame punches, we also have this additional silver line running through. And that is where you would line up your paper. You typically need to work in 2-inch increments, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, in order to do your frames. So they will turn out something like this. This is probably what it would look like if you had a 12 by 12 sheet. Again, I did the 4 by 4. I lined it up at the silver line and I just punched 3 sides of it. You do typically get, I don't know what I did with mine, but you get this little square would come off. So if I had punched this last end, it would have gone in here and I would have had these 2 pieces come off of my paper. But I actually kind of liked them. I decided to leave them because it looked a little bit like a crown to me, but it also looks a little bit like a tree. And I just thought that it brought life and it brought some joy. I thought this could work for pretty much anybody. And then also, if you look at the interior a bit, it almost looks like a female shape, the way it's here. So I just thought it really came to life in my mind and it brought back some just happy memories. The card in my mind is going to be more for a celebration. I thought it would be more for if you have a friend that is fighting cancer, like I've had several, and they actually get to ring the bell that they are winning the battle and able to ring the bell that their chemo treatments are finishing. I thought this might be a really just sweet card to send to one of them, let them know that you're thinking about them. Let's see if I can actually get this heart off of the paper backing. Here we go. Okay. Our heart's going to go in the corner here. And our larger of the two, because like I said, there's 2 of the ribbons. The larger of the 2 is going to go in the center of our shape here. So I just thought it just repeats our shape a little bit. It just, like I said, the whole thing seemed to, once I started playing around with this punch and the stickers, it just all came together for me. Sometimes it works and other times it takes a little bit more. Okay, now I also have a small piece for the inside, and I have a bunch of words from our title set or clear sticker pack. And you can see I cut one just because it seemed to work better. So I had a 4-inch by 2.5-inch piece of pink cardstock. Again, I think I was working with a scrap when I pulled the part for punching, but it just seems to work in here. And I thought, let's go ahead and add a little extra pink to the inside of our cards. And I thought this is going to make a really sweet sentiment as well. I think I'm going to be okay with this. This is inside. And I'm going to put it up just a little bit higher so that way you have space to write your person's name that you're giving this to. And also space to put an extra note and sign the bottom here. Of course, you can always write on the left side of the card as well. And we have a hi. And then the love you. So this kind of is, it's almost like, okay. I like to watch a lot of, how do we say, crime shows maybe. And this reminded me a little bit of some of those old ones that you would see where people would cut pieces out of magazines or newspapers to send like a ransom note or something. But I just thought it just kind of worked. And I thought it was a little bit fun, a little bit different. So, I just went with it. Now, just because I cut just off, I really thought that because worked for this, I didn't think the just did. So go ahead, and if you want to add your just, you can, but I am not. So hi, love you because you did it. So I thought, wouldn't that just be so encouraging to a survivor? I just thought that was just a little bit fun. Maybe not just. And I'll put it on my tray, but I'm not sure. I make no guarantees that I'll bring just back. I'm only promising to use all the stickers in the regular sticker pack for this collection, not in our title sticker pack. So, but anyways, here we go. How's about that? Kind of a nice, sweet way to end our October stickers just in time for the November virtual crop coming up. And we'll be using up the November stickers later this month. So, it's definitely been hectic. All right, that I think is all for today. I will see you all next time.